So chapter 2, how it all began. When we started chapter 2, I was thinking in the original form, in the initial draft, I should say, I went straight into introduction. Later on, halfway through this process, I went back and said, the same way we introduced the main character with some drama, and as you read in chapter 1, and now you're gonna learn more about this character. Chapter 2, we start actually with how it began. So we start with a story of the mom, Lydia. This time though, we wanted to bring a dramatic experience first so that you could try to pick up who she is under the pressures that she was facing. So we start with the story of this mother who's screaming at the top of her lungs, and there's kids in the house, and one of them spilled the pot of tea and burned his body, and she's screaming at the father to call the ambulance, and they rush. The family blaming Lydia for negligence, and how could she do this to her son? What kind of mother is that? And we start to see Lydia through this drama that's unfolding around her before we truly see her qualities in life as she grows and takes these children on the journey of their lives. Another part of the book starts talking about, that chapter, we start talking about the marriage arrangement. We talk about how extraordinary Lydia was and still is in her way of raising children, how disciplined she was, how she had such an intention about her children growing up. She was a very strict parent, but very loving and caring. Strange to describe, but in that chapter, you learn how her smack to the face of her young ones translated as pure love. Somehow, in this crazy expression, when you hit a child, you are not in any way showing them love. At least it doesn't feel like that. But with Lydia, it did. With Lydia, it did. And that's how she exercised discipline to young kids, because she wanted to make sure that they're going to be taken seriously as they get older. Well-behaved children will have a better opportunity at life. So she understood that early on, and she said, God has trusted me with children, although I don't understand this whole arrangement thing of a marriage, and I don't want to be married at 14 years old. But something about her at such a young age realized that these children are a gift, and I need to not only protect them, but I want to give them opportunity, and I want to discipline them so that they are prepared for the real world. In her context of life, this is what she knew. And luckily, it turned out for good for her children, as we could see later on in the book. My question that I want to pose to you as a reader is how do you feel about Lydia? Who is she? Who is Lydia to you? Think about that from just that chapter. What did she represent to you? I know mothers that are reading this may have a different interpretation than children that are reading this. Who is Lydia to you? Why is she important in this book? And there's a question I want you to think about: circumstances. What circumstances was she under? What kind of pressures did she face? And how did she keep her focus on raising children in that environment? And in thinking about that, so what and who cares? Right? So what? Who cares? Why is her introduction, drastic introduction, important to you now? Right now, why is that an important thing to know and to experience in reading and to watch happen? Why is that important to you? I want you to think about that, reflect on that. How do you feel about women that operate with a lot of restrictions, yet somehow manage to do miracles.